Hey guys, this is Kenny from the Level With You channel. Just here to let you guys know if you guys want to come chat with us, we got a Discord server up and running. Link is in the description below. You could give us some feedback, ask us questions, just interact with us, or in general. You can also find us on social media platforms. Instagram, we're LVL With You. Twitter, we're Level With You. And on Facebook, you do the search Level With You. Hope you guys enjoy the show. Stay level.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Level With You show, Business Casual Edition. My name is Wiley Olmstead. This week, I am joined by, as always, Anthony Dewart.
Wendy's 2 for $10. Best coupons you get in the mail, hands down.
And Kenny Castro.
The line is so big at Popeyes.
The line
is so big. And I cannot forget the man with the plan in the corner on the can, Tyler Hadley.
Kenny stole my intro. I was gonna say that.
You can't miss it. The line's like, it's coming right past up the street you even turn on to get to your street.
It is madness.
That chicken
All right.
sandwich.
Yeah, what the heck? Is it better than like the McRib? Is it
Better than
have you
Chick-fil-A,
had it?
apparently.
I had it. I've had it.
You've had it, and didn't you have it before the show one day? It was like,
Yes.
Okay, so this is the famous Popeyes chicken sandwich we're discussing.
I just showed up. I was like, hey, I'll grab some Popeyes. And I was like, they got a chicken sandwich. I didn't even know about the hype. I'm like, can I get a spicy chicken sandwich? They were like, okay, $4. I came here and I started eating. And I was like, yeah, remember I told you guys? I'm like, yo, this is actually really good. Like, for $4. Like, this is cheap.
Is it big?
Yeah.
Does it have like a special sauce that like
Nah.
differentiates? Is it just like their chicken in between bun?
It was a spicy chicken sandwich that was crack. They must have sprinkled.
They got to put something in there because you could just go get regular chicken there and just, I'm gonna get my own buns from Big Y, cheap.
Yeah, nah. It was just chicken patty that was amazing.
I still haven't tried it, but apparently people like it better than Chick-fil-A.
Oh God, really?
I swore too much last episode. Forget Chick-fil-A. They got rid of coleslaw. Everybody knows how I feel about that.
Wait, they did?
Yes.
I
So
didn't really get rid of
I boycott Chick-fil-A ever since they got rid of coleslaw.
No, nothing about them hating gays, but the coleslaw. That's the final straw.
No, I didn't know about them hating gays.
I didn't
until
either until,
after
like-
they got rid of the coleslaw.
Ah.
So I was already boycotting them.
Okay.
So there was
Now
no
you're
need for
double
me to just
boycotting.
boycott them further if I'm already not buying for them because of the coleslaw.
Kenny, keep the microphone in front of your face.
My bad. I get super into the whole coleslaw situation.
Move it when you turn your head, boy.
So you hear about Kanye, his new album. He's like, "You my Chick-fil-A closed on Sunday."
I skipped that.
Yes, that's
I
great.
haven't heard the song. but
Yeah, it's really the song starts and he's like, "You're my Chick-fil-A, closed on Sundays."
How far the man has fallen. It's very sad.
Listen, that CD, the rest of the CD is awesome.
Is it?
It's really good.
I mean, people are going crazy over his
Merchandise.
Jesus Walks song, right?
That was a while ago, right?
That was a while ago, yeah.
Was it? Why is it? I feel like it's resurfacing that.
Because they got the
Probably is,
video
yeah.
with him and
That's
what's his
College
face?
Dropout.
He's one of those he does the late night shows. One of the late night shows.
Steve.
the Connor.
Yes,
Conan
the
O'Brien.
one that not Conan, the
No,
one
the
that likes
fat-
doing like
fat
a lot of the
blonde
music.
guy.
He does the
this
car
car
drive
guy,
one, the
yeah.
car karaoke with the celebrities.
Oh, Jimmy Fallon?
Not Fallon. The
I had
other
to
one.
look this up for the guy at
Oh,
work.
James Corden.
James
Yeah.
Corden. So
Okay.
James Corden and Kanye did like with a group of an acapella verse of Jesus Walks on an airplane with James Corden and like a bunch of his like people from his Sunday service in the background. So
Okay.
that's what's been going around is that video.
I thought you were being sarcastic, Tyler, because the original Jesus Walks came out in 2004. And
Well, it's
Yeah, man.
No, the video has been making rounds on social media.
Were they in the air or on the ground still?
Pretty sure on the
It was
ground.
probably just a set.
It's all green screen.
Yeah. So, but the CD's not bad. Like, it's not, the life of Pablo Kanye West, but that's not also my favorite Kanye West
my
either.
favorite is like Late Registration, College Dropout.
College
Graduate.
Dropout,
I mean,
yeah.
all his early stuff.
My favorite Kanye is My Twisted Dark Fantasies.
Yeah.
Kanye West, like
that's great too. But
it was like that transition, like and also very low key. I know this is a video game podcast, but the 808s and Heartbreak, very underrated CD. Like nobody loved it, but
not at the time.
Not at the time, but you look back on it and you listen to it, I'm like, wow, this ages well. Like, you know.
My buddy used to love that. He got into a real big Kanye phase, like College Dropout, like post graduation.
No, there was
His
late
graduation.
registration, graduation. Then it was 808s and Heartbreak.
Yeah, he
then
loved
My Twisted
that
Dark
album.
Fantasy.
Yeah. Then Yeezus.
Then Yeezus. Yep.
I like Yeezus better.
Yeezus is good. And then The Life of Pablo.
Which,
We were supposed to get Yandy, but he dropped Jesus is King instead.
In case you were not informed.
What's that song that's like, put your legs behind your head, I'll make you wet the bed? You heard that one?
I was about to introduce the show for real.
Okay, sorry.
All right, this is a weekly video game podcast where the four of us get together and talk about, you guessed it, video games. You can find new episodes every week on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Podcast Addict, Stitcher, wherever else you'd like to listen or watch on Wednesdays. We've also got some other good content coming up on the channel. We've got a Let's Play with Anthony, Tyler, and I playing Man of Medan. Get some good spooky scares in there. Today we had a meeting discussing a Smash tournament that's months down the line, but we'll be checking in with that from time to time. Anthony's putting up his usual exciting card openings.
I'm very behind this week. Even though I'm on vacation, I still got to do the one. So.
Well, you probably need to do some catching up to do anyway, because he was pumping them out for a little bit. Mm-hmm. And so, let's get into it with what we've been playing. I think that there's not as much breaking new stuff we've been playing. We've kind of been keeping up with the games we've already been into. Mm-hmm. So, Tyler, you said you've started playing the Modern Warfare campaign.
I have. It's been pretty amazing so far.
Yeah.
I mean, it's drawing me in like no other Call of Duty campaign has in a while. Granted that I haven't played a Call of Duty game in a while. Mm-hmm. But it feels really interactive. I feel like it's really putting you in the... So it's switching characters that you're playing as, right?
Yeah, you play as about 3 characters primarily.
Right, because I remember playing as like Alex in one.
Kyle is the other.
Kyle, yeah.
And then there's flashbacks where you play as Farah, the female soldier.
From Overwatch!
I don't think I've gotten there yet.
Yeah, it's not really it would be a spoiler, but they've been teasing that ever since E3. As you play as her as a child in a very intense mission. You play as her. Well, I won't give it away, but she's a great character, very well acted. I think overall the acting's really good with Captain Price. He kills it. The protagonists, Kyle and Alex, are a little generic and by the numbers, but they get the job done, and I think Farah's great.
I just got to the mission where all the articles and memes about what happens if you shoot the baby kind of thing happens.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
when you're going through the hotel building or apartment building and the baby's screaming in the floor above you, I'm like, oh boy, it's coming. I'm going to try it just to see what happens.
Did you do it? I didn't do it. I couldn't do it, man. I'm going to shoot a baby.
I did it.
I had a fefeeling because you're like, just be the asshole for no reason. I do like that you always choose the second, like the different options with that, though.
It just gives you a restart screen saying child, this game does not tolerate child abuse, or I don't know, something like that.
You are a terrible person. Come back in 20 minutes after your timeout.
This is why we wear body cams now. That's crazy.
That would actually be brilliant.
You can't play anywhere for 20 minutes.
Go sit in the corner, you baby murderer.
It undertales your file and just deletes it off your hard drive.
Oh my god.
Baby.
But overall, the campaign I thought was really strong. I finished it, so Tyler's still maybe 25% of the way done.
Probably,
something like that.
Not too far.
It's a good 8 to 10 hour campaign, depending on how much you're dying. Which I died a decent amount. Would you say that it's got some decent challenge in there?
Yeah, it's definitely challenging. I mean, I put it on hardened.
Oh, did you?
And yeah,
you're gonna get fucked up.
I've done it. I haven't gotten like super fucked up. I mean, there have been times where I've gotten killed a few times in like the same spot, but you just have to adapt and try to approach things a little bit differently. There hasn't been like a single point where I've gotten like overly frustrated because I couldn't get past a part. Yeah.
I thought the game. I was mostly positive on it last week, but I am even more positive on it now because I think the second half of the game does a really good job of giving you mission variety. Like there's the mission that's getting a lot of controversy because of the relation or how it kind of misconstrues the Highway of Death, which was a thing that the U.S. was actually responsible for in the war in the early 90s in Kuwait, and they rebrand it in Modern Warfare that it's Russia that was the one that was responsible, even though it's it's a made-up war in a made-up country in the game, it's still significant that the fact that it's called the Highway of Death or whatever, and it actually caused the game to get review bombed by a bunch of angry Russians.
Oh wow.
So I thought that mission was awesome, though. It's a sniping mission. You haven't got there yet.
No.
And it's like you're sniping from so far, and you got to account for wind and stuff like that. And then there's another great mission where you can do things out of order, and Price is watching you and instructing you. You can play it very stealthily. Got a lot of Splinter Cell vibes from it. What else? There's a really fun chase the person through the streets level. I think the suicide bombing level in London is really intense and dramatic early on. So overall, I was very pleased with the time I spent with the campaign. Could I have dealt without the waterboarding mini game?
Why?
No, it was actually awesome.
No F's to pay respects this time around?
No F's to pay respects, but there is...
But W to waterboard.
No, it's like you have to move your head around in order to like avoid the water from drowning you.
That's pretty... I'll take that. It could be worse.
I mean, it is them going for the shock value.
Oh, yeah.
And on the whole, I don't think that the game's particularly gratuitous. Nothing to the likes of No Russian, in my opinion, which I still think was... didn't care for very much, but... So yeah, those are my thoughts. Do you have anything else you wanted to touch on with that? Any
the
multiplayer updates?
The multiplayer is okay. I mean, it's definitely as I've played it more and more, there's definitely a couple maps that just need to go. It's like some maps are terrible. There's this one map called Piccadilly. It's like a arcade, like the buses outside. And depending on the mode you're playing, if you're playing like domination or anything like capture points, people can just like spawn camp you so easily in this map because there's one spawn area that you're coming around a corner of a building and people are just picking you off as you're coming around the corner, or they're in a garage that's on the side just camping, waiting for people to come around and shoot at them.
Is that what they call it, Piccadilly?
Maybe. But this map needs to go. It's awful.
Get out of rotation.
I feel Kenny over there silently nodding and restraining himself from saying fuck 12 more times like he did last week.
Now we all know Kenny's he's an outdoors man. He likes his fires. He likes his burgers.
Forget campers. I've been asked to tone down the expletives.
Not by us. Maybe by his lady at home who's watching.
Because
why does that young man have to use the potty word so much? It hurts my ears and the face. Ouch.
Yeah.
I like camping, you little man. It's probably some old lady that's just like, I camp.
And I was actually surprised that I thought you guys were just a bunch of whiny little bitches, but...
you played?
No. I still have not, but I heard a common theme among other podcasters that the camping is an issue.
Yeah, jump in. The water's fine.
You brought your sleeping bag? We're all going camping.
Come join us.
I plan on it.
I even succumbed slightly to the darkness one match, and I was like, camping.
Maybe I'll just chill out in this corner and record.
No, I stayed. I stayed a whole match, and I was like, oh. And I was like, Kenny, what are you doing? Stop camping.
You get the crazy eyes. You're just like,
I had it. I was like, wait a second. I got all my kill streaks? Is this the feeling? Is this how it feels?
Get the dopamine hit.
What's your best KD in a match so far?
Probably like 4 point something.
Okay.
I've had a couple pretty decent matches. Yeah. I think my highest kill streak is 11.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's decent.
Yeah.
But it happens very infrequently.
How many do you have to do to get the gas?
Gas.
Yeah, like isn't there a chemical weapon that's another controversy is that it's so frowned upon in the campaign, but in if you get like 15 kills
I'm not
in a row,
sure. I'm not even sure if I've unlocked that yet.
Yeah.
I know I've seen the gas. Like I'm like, what is this? Your character.
Yeah,
Get away from me.
I think I saw that one time too. I had no idea what it was though.
Yeah, I was just like, get me out of this area. Like I don't know what is happening right now.
I know. I was like, war crime going on right now because.
Is there like a gun plane you get too for a kill streak where it's like you get to fly a plane around?
Yeah. That was cool. I think that one's like.
Oh, have you got to that
12
level
or 13
in the campaign yet, where you're flying around the little RC cars or RC planes?
The RC planes, yeah, I have done that one.
That was a good one.
That one's cool.
That sounds sick.
Yeah. Good variety in that campaign.
Good variety of the player base on the multiplayer. Fucking campers.
All right. Speaking of games we've been playing, there's another one that was the worst transition ever. We talked about it a good amount last week, and it's what's been eating up most of my time. The Outer Worlds, the new Obsidian Western RPG that's available on Xbox, PS4, and PC. I'm playing it as well as Kenny on Game Pass. You can get it there. And I am now about 20-ish hours in. I am taking my time with the game. I think that I'm maybe a little more than halfway done with the story. I feel like I'm trying to really flesh out the conversations, getting a lot out of just running into people on Monarch, which is the third planet in the game that you have access to, I believe. And it feels a lot more Fallout once you get to this point because it's much larger in scale. You actually are running into some towns that you didn't, weren't already on your way to due to a waypoint. There's, 11 or 12 fast travel points, which gives you some sense of the scale. And I'm really enjoying it. I do think that the game has some issues, especially once you get later on, you are fast traveling a lot because there isn't a whole lot in between point A and point B typically once you've already traversed the area. And a lot of times you'll complete a quest and it'll be return and, let them know about your exploits. And then what you're going to do is fast travel either back to the Unreliable, your ship, and then fast travel again to the area. Or you can, if you're on the same planet, you'll fast travel once, maybe twice if you're outside of town. I do think that the loading is a little bit of a hindrance towards the overall immersion. Luckily, there's some really great splash loading screens that have really cool art. And later in the game, when you make some of the bigger decisions, it's
the exploits come up.
It'll have a newspaper issue of whatever you decided to do. I just finished the sort of main quest line on Monarch, which is this planet that I spent a good 10 hours on, and that was neat. There's a lot of different ways that can go. I will likely play the game again. I don't think it'll be right after I finish it, but there are so many things that I have not seen due to my choices. I really do think that it has a replayability that you don't see so much these days. How's your time been with it this week?
This week I've been enjoying it a lot. I do agree the load times are somewhat sometimes I pick up my phone and I look up and I'm like, is it still loading? Like, what's going on? Like, I was just fast traveling back to the town so I could turn in my quests. Did get my ass handed to me by some mantic queens. A mantic queen. Like, this thing came out of nowhere. I was just strolling on and it was like, all I heard was the...
Oh, no, they're not.
All I heard was my companions fighting, and I'm like, oh, what's going on? I'm like, I just got smacked around. So, and it was eating bullets. But I'm enjoying the quest. I'm enjoying talking to the people I find along the way. Yes, I fast travel. Like, because I play it and I explore everything. If I see a house, I'm going to check to see if it has a door. I'm going to try and enter it. So once I've gone through that area, I'm like, I didn't miss anything. I checked every nook and cranny.
Yeah.
So I'm fast traveling back to turn in my quests. And I kind of don't go back and forth. I try to do as many quests out and about and then return to turn in 6-7 quests at a time.
And it is beneficial on Monarch, at least, which is the largest planet that I've been to so far, to go out of your way to do some exploring, which I didn't necessarily feel was the case on the first couple of areas. Like, there was a gigantic ammo stash with 300 of each type of ammo. Okay. I haven't had to buy anything since. That I just got by wandering off the beaten path and finding it behind a building, and there was nothing else there. So I know that I've also said that it doesn't have the sense of discovery of a Fallout, and that remains true. But I have found that once I got to this area, that it does increase that feeling at least a bit.
Is there any melee combat in the game?
Oh, definitely. So the melee combat is very reminiscent of Fallout. I think it's a little bit smoother, just a little bit more refined. You can spec your character towards being melee focused.
Ooh.
I am more gun focused, but now I feel like I'm getting to a higher level and feel like my guns are doing enough damage, and I found a couple of neat melee weapons that I want to be effective at using, so I've been pumping some points into that.
Are they all like kind of like futuristic, like, you know, not just a sword, but like a bat with spikes around it, or like a stun baton kind of?
Exactly.
Like a sledgehammer.
Okay.
Or like a void hammer that will like, you know, there's some rare weapons in the game that are called science weapons. There's only a handful, I think, and this one turns this big hammer into sort of projectile. That's pretty cool. Where you shoot it, or like you slam it, and you just a wave of energy does damage.
This like gravity hammer from Halo.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's cool.
And
do they break? Like weapons have durability?
They have durability, but they're easy to repair.
That's good.
Especially once you get one of the perks where you can literally repair it on the go. You don't have to go back to a workbench.
I never even saw that perk.
Yeah, I got that one.
Speaking of perks, what other ones have you been choosing?
Weight, like making sure I can carry more. Anything in regards to compensation. So I like exploring all the extra compensations. So persuades or intelligence, medical. So I'm always looking for perks that'll increase those stats on top of my points that I put into them. I think I picked up the cheetah one, which is like the movement speed.
Oh yeah, for running or walking?
For both.
For both.
General.
Because there's one that is.
I think it was just a regular movement speed.
Yeah.
So I think it's the tier 2 one.
Okay, so there's one that increases your walking speed and one that increases your running speed. I did the running one, so I'm running all the time and I'm really fast, and like I think sometimes the game can't even keep up with it because it'll like a random loading screen will pop up. But I do recommend getting that because it's fun running everywhere.
And I picked up the one that heals you after every kill.
Oh, okay.
Because I find myself into some massacring sprees, and I'm like, in case I'm getting attacked, I want to not use my inhaler, even though I have 91 of them.
91?
Yeah.
Wow.
Barely use
I'm
it.
at like 40.
Are those healing items? Or?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I barely use it. As I said last time, I feel like I should have upped the difficulty instead of normal, because it hasn't until that one fight that I got caught off guard from these bugs, the Mantic Queen. I really haven't struggled. I even snuck into that place I told you about in Monarch, the Worst factory.
Right.
And I went on a massacre. There, like I didn't sneak in. I
thought you were being a good guy.
I was until they attacked me first.
Okay, then you should have left.
I shot the robots in the front. Opened the door, entered. And I was strolling through. I didn't pick up an ID, so my shroud didn't go on. Somebody questioned me. I answered. Then people started shooting. So then I shot everybody that was shooting me, and it was so frantic that I was shooting even the people that were cowering. And then I was like, well, I killed them already.
Did your companions say anything?
No. They just shot them also.
So let's do what he does.
So honestly, like, after I killed the first innocent bystander, I was like, and I saw my reputation went down, I'm like, I might as well commit to what I'm doing. Like, I already killed one, so I'm gonna kill everybody in this factory.
So that was happening. I was at the next level, the next main planet. I accidentally entered an area I wasn't supposed to be. I started shooting some folks, and I've been playing very sort of try to make amends with everyone and get people to work together. So I couldn't have that. So I went to my autosave, and I was like, okay, time to go to bed for the night. You had a couple, maybe an extra beer than you should have.
You're not thinking rationally. Game. It's the fun stuff. It's all virtual.
It's all virtual.
It's the good. It's like hair. It always grows back. Except to games, you can just reload your save.
Felt like my character had a mental breakdown and he just turned into a serial killer in that factory. He was like, "What, you're killing sister pigs? No, the piggies, save the piggies."
It's a Slowpoke Tales all over again.
Who's your favorite companion?
Pavardi so far.
Pavardi. I always say I get mixed up with Parvardi. Pavardi. I think it's Pavardi, right?
Yeah, Pavardi.
Yeah.
Sounds like an Italian.
Yeah, I like it. So I started using like everybody's companion skills, and I'm like, go smash that.
Yeah, it's fun. I really like the fact that depending on which two companions you are, their background talk will be different. Like Felix and the Vicar Max have hilarious talks.
I gotta check that out.
Because they're like, because Felix is like a wannabe hard ass who is really against religion and everything, and Vicar is this wise man of the cloth, and their back and forths are really good. All right, so that's Call of Duty Modern Warfare and The Outer Worlds. Like I said, we don't have as much breaking news. Next week, we'll be talking about a little game called Death Stranding, which you can read everybody who gets paid to play video games' impressions of all over the internet. Anything else we wanted to talk about before the news? I
got nothing, man.
Right.
I'm on vacation.
We'll do better next week. With the hot newness.
The hot newness. So it's coming out this Friday?
Well, we have that this Friday also. Don't we have Star Wars? Or
No,
Star Wars
next
next week as well?
Same day as Pokemon.
Pokemon and Star Wars. I'm struggling.
Move over Star Wars.
No, I'm hearing good things about this Star Wars game. So
It looks
I can't
interesting.
wait.
Very good things.
But what's putting me off is that I'm hearing that it's more like a Souls game, and I suck at Souls games.
If anything, it'll probably make it more accessible.
Yeah, they have
because
like
of the
4
fan base.
difficulties on it.
They
Yeah.
better make it accessible.
They will.
I'm gonna put it on super easy.
Ooh, I also did try a little bit of the Nioh 2 demo.
Oh, yeah.
The new
word.
beta.
How was it?
It's kind of interesting because it's been so long since I've played Nioh. I kind of just like forgot what really the mechanics even were in Nioh. So I wasn't really sure what was different or what was the same.
You were very into Nioh.
For a while, yeah. But when did Nioh come out?
This was 2 or 3 years ago.
I want to say
3?
Nioh. It's 2019. Early 2018, I think. Could be totally wrong.
So
I think
long enough for
17.
me to forget about
Maybe
it.
17.
I thought it was late 17.
Because that's when I first started working at the new place I did, and then Tyler brought me to the train station the next day. You played Nioh that night.
And then you went on vacation, and I kept on playing it and like beat it, and you were like, "Well, wow, I already beat it," and he's way ahead of me, so I didn't quit.
I was thinking it's stupid that the whole opening to that game, you don't get anything for doing that. Like, it's like, don't grind. I made that mistake of trying to grind at the beginning of the game, and you can't do that because it doesn't matter until you get to like the first area after the opening area.
After the castle,
Yeah.
you're a noob.
I'm a big starting grinder. I love opening areas where I can like flesh it out, feel around, get a gameplay feel, and then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna cheese the shit out of this.
Yep.
Get all my souls. And Nioh was like, all right, bud, let's go back
This is
to
literally the intro of the game.
yeah. And I was like, oh man.
But anyway, Nioh 2.
But it felt pretty good. It felt like a good old Nioh. In the first Nioh, they had the yokai transformations and abilities and stuff like that, or is that new?
I don't think you could transform. Like you could use yokai powers to like slow down time and stuff.
Yeah, no, they still got that. It seems like
That was a very cheesable move and made the second half of the game much more manageable. The slow down move, you could just like any enemy, you could reduce their speed by like 25 to 50% or something.
Even
Right.
bosses?
Even bosses.
Wow.
Yeah, it was ridiculously.
Was
good.
that an ability or was that an item?
It was an ability.
That's crazy.
I was like, damn
Yeah,
it,
I
I didn't
mean-
pick up that one.
I can't remember. Like it's been so long since I played it, but I mean, for the hour or so that I played of the demo, it was pretty good.
I mean, I know this one in Nioh 1 you were playing as a specific character. It's a create your own character in this one, which is
Yep.
cool. And what else is new? That's all I know. But I really enjoyed the first game. It was a little long, a little bit of a too much of a loot game for its own good. I think that I got a little tired of dismantling all that shit and like sorting through what was good and what wasn't. And if they could tone that down a bit, I would like it.
They did it. It's called Sekiro.
Sekiro, yeah, very true. It's a much, well, I'll say a better game. Maybe not a much better game, but so yeah, I'll look forward to playing that. That's Nioh 2. All right, Tyler, bring us into Cruisin for a Newsin. Someday we'll have a theme song for that. All right, Cruisin for a Newsin, the part of the show where we gather the news from the week that we thought was fit to print, read them back to you, and discuss. All right. You may have known or may have noticed that we've been talking a good amount about Blizzard these last few weeks. Yes, so now it was BlizzCon over the weekend, and we got some new game announcements. We're not going to go over all of them. We're going to go over something that relates to what we've been speaking about on earlier episodes. The president coming out with the keynote address to the crowd did talk about the whole Blitzchung and Hong Kong thing that's been causing such controversy in the gamosphere over the past few weeks. So this is how his message sort of came across, and some of it is actual quotes. President J. Allen Brack said he was sorry for taking too long to address fans concerned by the decision. And the decision was to revoke the $10,000 won by Blitzchung, as well as suspending him for a year, as well as the two casters that were interviewing him for a year as well. That was their initial punishment. In an interview with PC Gamer following the opening ceremony, Brack said it will not revert its decision on Blitzchung's suspension. Brack reiterated to PC Gamer that its official broadcasts are about the game. He said it was not about the content of Blitzchung's message. If we hadn't taken action, if we hadn't done something, you can imagine the trail that would be in our future around doing interviews, Brack told PC Gamer. They would become times for people to make a statement about whatever they wanted to on whatever issue. That's just a path we don't want to go down. We really want the content of those official broadcasts to be focused on the games and keep that focus. During his speech, Brack did not directly address the decision to suspend Blitzchung and the two Hearthstone casters. Instead, he called it a tough Hearthstone esports moment. That's putting it lightly. And this is a quote from him. Blizzard had the opportunity to bring the world together in a tough Hearthstone esports moment about a month ago, and we did not, Brack said during the BlizzCon opening ceremony. We moved too quickly in our decision, and then, to make matters worse, we were too slow to talk with all of you. That's kind of the gist of it. I think is a pretty lame apology, not really acknowledging any wrongdoing other than, oh, we got mad too quickly, not...
Yeah, so did my dad. Come on.
Yeah.
Look how that turned out. Gotta take a step back, cool off.
I mean...
My dad just said he was going out for cigarettes.
Yeah, never came back. Never came back with Blitzchung. Or that 10,000.
So I don't know, it does seem like it's cooling a little bit as far as the outrage goes about this, which I semi-predicted. I do think that most people thought when the story broke a month ago that we'd see a little bit more disruption at the BlizzCon event, as well as far as interrupting speakers and shit like that.
Nothing really happened with that, right? I mean, I didn't look too...
there were protests outside the venue. There was... Dude, Kenny, you and your nails drive me nuts.
I'm bad.
All right.
It's okay.
So what happened? I'm sorry, I got sidetracked there.
It's okay. Have you guys ever seen Space Ghost Coast to Coast? You guys remember that show?
Yeah.
Remember that one character, Brack?
Yep.
And he had his own show, The Brack Show? That's the only thing I was picturing when you reading that article. He's like, hey, Space Ghost. Hey, we're sorry about Hearthstone.
He is a mantis or whatever.
Yeah, he's the mantis.
No, but as far as the reaction has been, I do think there's people that are still mad, but I think most of the talk now is on the new games that were announced. I do think it's a shame that was their initial reaction. I do not believe that this is something that they hadn't felt pressure from the Chinese market in order to cover their asses once the thing happened with Blitzchung.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I saw a lot of videos too of people while they were taking questions at different panels and things like that. People were just like going up to the microphone and saying like "Free Hong Kong" and stuff like that, and that's what a lot of like panels ended up being sometimes.
Yeah. Really? Okay,
Yeah.
so maybe it was more so than I thought.
That's cool. At least they got a little word in, but
Blizzard did bring some heat as far as announcements go. Last year, there was like, where are all the games? We got this Diablo mobile game. Nobody wants that. Well, we got Diablo 4, which you probably heard by now if you're listening to the show. So, Diablo 4, and I'm now going to go over some of the changes that they announced. So the campaign is now open world. It's completely open. If you want to tackle the story start to finish, that's fine. But if you'd rather explore and complete side quests in various areas, you can do that too. There's going to be PvP areas, which I guess is a return to maybe something that was in Diablo 1 or 2. You guys know?
the PvP, I don't It might have been 2 is the only thing online, but I don't even remember. It's been so long. I played a little bit of Diablo 2 growing up, but I don't think PvP was in 3 at all.
No, it was
3
promised
was
for 3. It was promised for 3, but never delivered.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Like a
for
lot
Yeah.
for 3.
They were
Couldn't even play the game for the first 3 days it was
Oh
out.
my god, yeah.
So they're going for a much darker tone. They say that means they're going to be scarier enemies, more blood, and less light. I am taking these quotes from Polygon. Dungeons, the most common environment in Diablo, will now be a little bit darker. Oh, that's exciting. You should make them creepier, but also more unpredictable. Contributing to that, Diablo 4 upgrades the randomness system that Blizzard built in Diablo 3, which should lead to even more varied dungeons. So I guess they're somewhat procedurally generated, somewhat crafted. That's what it sounded like to me.
Huh.
Right.
Social areas and teaming up. Social areas like towns are also getting a big upgrade in Diablo 4. They're now places where you can hang out with other players, swap stories, which what the hell does that mean? Like,
Dude, you'd never guess what my dad said this morning.
yeah, exactly. Pretty much. Like trade items and inspect builds. You can even gather together in groups in order to take on bigger bosses that exist across the world. During the Diablo 4 panel, the developers showed off a giant boss that seemed to be fighting at least a dozen players at once, making them look like a World of Warcraft raid boss.
Oh,
Sick.
that'll be interesting
So
to see.
they're making Diablo WoW edition.
Wow.
The aesthetics are a little bit grimmer and creepier. I think that that's cool.
Yeah. I mean, I thought 3 was pretty, like, they nailed
Yeah,
it with
3
that,
was-
too. A lot
3
of the
was
enemies
good.
were very metal. They're very brutal looking. I don't like the darker dungeons aspect because I like to see where I'm going. Like, there's a bunch of, especially in a loot game that's so heavy on loot, like, I want to know what I'm picking up unless you can, which there'll probably be a feature for, like, auto pickup or, like, well, okay, if there's an enemy I kill drops, it'll just suck into me.
Um,
I'm looking forward to it.
you're looking forward to it?
I think it'll be a cool game. Maybe it'll be a game that all of us get to play together for once
I'm
and
down.
stick
Maybe
to
so.
for a little while.
Yes, I was about to say, I don't want to hear it. We said that about Borderlands and we didn't stick to it.
I'm
know.
sorry I have the attention span of a ladybug, guys. That's my fault. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I went on my honeymoon to Italy. That's what happened. I had an excuse. Okay, you guys don't have one. I go home and play Fortnite tonight if you guys want.
I give it a shot. I was thinking about that. I'm not gonna say this. I'm trying to be weird, but in bed last night I was thinking about, wow, maybe I play Fortnite with Wiley tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's cute.
Did you have your Nintendo Switch with you?
I did. Yeah, it was right next to my bed. I was like,
Were you doing the other thing you normally do with your Nintendo Switch?
that's not my PSP. Don't have micro SD.
Speaking of Fortnite, did you guys see the boss that was active this week?
Mm-mm.
So there was like a big boss named the Storm King.
I think I saw a stream.
You saw a
on
stream of it?
Yes.
So it was pretty cool. I mean, it was very Destiny inspired. It was like you're trying to melt these 3 health bars, and then you're able to shoot his big horn. And then so everybody has to do like big DPS on the horn, and then eventually all his health bars come back up. It's like a good 15-minute fight for an average crew, and it's a.
Is it a mode you go into specifically?
I think so.
That's
I
cool.
only was seeing my friend play it, and it's 12 players, all trying to take out this one dude. You got like a special glider. I think he's out of the game now, so you're probably too late if you're listening. I bet they'll bring it back, but I think it was pretty neat, and it showed some potential for some stronger PvE aspects of the game. There was a lot of like ad control stuff. You know, the building was helpful, but not imminently necessary. Like maybe if you had a couple people on your team that were, you know, delegated as the builders, providing cover, and you know, it was neat. You could build straight up to the big old boss's face, so you would be doing more damage when you were shooting him.
Was he just stationary, like he could move? Or
He was stationary, yeah. He's this giant, like 60, 70 foot tall purple Storm King that is shooting off projectiles and making zombies spawn out of these pod things, and it was neat.
That's interesting.
Nice.
Yeah.
Going back to Diablo 4 real quick, one of the biggest things of conversation that I've noticed around the interwebs is that they've announced that Diablo, or one of the developers has been noted saying that Diablo 4 is going to be solely online, that you need an online
Right.
connection
That was
to
3
play.
too, wasn't it?
On PC, it was.
Okay.
But I believe on consoles you could play it offline. Because I think it's the case for PC because you need to have your Blizzard
Oh yeah, that's right.
connection.
To the Battle.net account.
Yep.
That's not gonna work again. This is gonna be terrible. Oh, I hope it's not a repeat because last if they're gonna do the same thing, because I don't even think the console version of Diablo 3 came out till like a year after the initial launch.
Yeah.
So, good luck. I mean, just make sure the servers are up and running, I guess.
Yep. I mean, I don't have an issue with it. I mean, as long as the game works.
Because
But
when it first launched on PC back in like 2011, 2010, you couldn't even play online. Like you couldn't play at all for the first like day, 2 days
yeah,
after launch.
I think they come a long way from there, though.
Yeah, I hope so.
I think we'll be fine.
they got
fun.
that China money.
Yep. You got the China servers.
Are they? Do you know when it's coming out? Did it give a
I was
release
going
date?
to ask. I don't think that we did.
No release window yet.
There was a dates mentioned for
It just-
Diablo or Overwatch.
Really?
They just dropped the cinematic trailer for Diablo. No release date.
As well as it being playable there, and
Yeah.
there was a good amount of gameplay as well.
The game
Yeah,
plays all
they
over the
released.
internet right now.
They showcased like 3 of the classes that you're going to be able to select from. I think they said there's going to be 5 or 6 total classes that you can select from.
Mm-hmm.
But they showed off, I think, the sorcerer, druid, and barbarian. I think.
The barbarian's always
Classic.
fun. Yep.
Good old barbarian.
Mm.
Speaking of classes, we also got Overwatch 2 announced. And there was a lot of speculation. We talked about the rumors last week. Most of them turned out to be true. It is going to feature story missions, a new mode called Push, which I find very uninspired, but I guess what do I know? Like, you literally are pushing a robot from one end of the map to the other end of the map. Like,
So is it just like a guard mission, or was it escort? But
yeah,
you have to push
essentially,
it.
it essentially seems like an escort mission, except for they can push it back. It's not all going one way now. Like the original
Like the truck
Overwatch
mission.
is essentially you're guarding a payload, and you either hijack the payload, or you either like
You kill everybody at the point, and then it stops
mean, it's-
moving.
yeah, it's
You have to wait
interesting.
for the time limit.
Yeah, because if you're the defending team and you're on the payload, it slowly will move backwards.
right.
Whereas, I mean, it'll move forward faster if the attacking team's on it. So, I mean, it sounds like the push thing is like you need to physically be
Pushing
like,
this.
touching it, pushing it, or something. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Which is like you're really gonna make a whole new game, and like,
Maybe you have to
can-
like shoot at it or like melee it or something to actually. Make
I think
it
you can
move, or-
actually. I think you actually have to be have a character just pushing. I actually don't.
Oh, like a
don't
designated character, like hit square to push it, or
know. Something like that.
That'd be weird. That's just the same thing
or-
as payload.
Or hold it and push.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I just was.
No, I think you're probably on like the right. It sounds like about.
Yeah, it just seems like, and it's going to be in the competitive modes, and it's like I guess that's a big deal. It's something that they haven't. It's been sort of the same thing for a long time. What else? Oh, my notes. I could have sworn I had more. Okay, characters are all returning. We were having some back and forth on that about whether we thought that they'd do a little reset, maybe nix 8 of the characters, 10 of the characters. But no, they're all coming back, and they announced one new one, right?
Yep.
Remember
Can't
the name?
remember its name.
Can't remember the name.
Some
Rudy Tooty Shooty.
Robot
Tooty
chick or
Shooty.
something.
What?
Some robot chick. Started with an E, I think.
Not
So-
Echo, right?
There's something.
No, it was Echo, I think.
It was Echo?
Yeah.
Maybe. I feel like that's resonating with me. That's somebody.
No, yeah, 100%. It was Echo.
Echo.
Yeah.
Okay. So they've all got new looks, which
Yeah, haircuts.
Sure, they look a little bit more modern, a little sleeker. But what I don't get is this game is going to be compatible with Overwatch 1. How is that even possible?
So is it? Is it? What? So they're just gonna be pretty much repackaging Overwatch 1 in a new case, and then updating it. Maybe?
That's how it felt to me, but I guess maybe their justification for making it a new game is they have a good amount of single-player content in there, a good amount of PvE cooperative stuff. I think it's weird, the fact that you're going to be able to play each other, and I hope I'm right about this. I think that you are, though, Tyler.
That's their definition of compatible.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think you're but...
Like a cross-platform kind of thing.
Yeah, like you'll be able to play Overwatch 1 with Overwatch 2 people.
But probably just like one mode.
You want to
But
look it up
it's,
real quick so I don't put my foot in my mouth here?
I don't understand what the point of that would be.
That's so it's kind of like.
I do know that all your skins and stuff move forward. So
Well,
I mean,
that's good for
that
people.
makes sense. That in the terms of compatibility, that would make sense if
You think
just
that
like
that's what
things
it
move
meant?
over.
Oh, okay.
If I had to guess, that's what I would say.
Which I guess they do have to do all that re-rendering, and,
Yeah, of
do-
everything.
of everything, which sucks for them.
Yeah, same case in the new Pokemon games coming out. They gotta just apparently they're not spending any of their budget on animation, so they just gotta render all these models again.
Oh yeah, remember the tail whip?
The big it's like, oh, okay, good, tail whip, and look at this tree from Majora's Mask. Okay, that's fine. Speaking of Pokemon, I showed you guys a little bit of the starters earlier.
Oh yeah, the starter's final evolution.
Yeah, and I actually have pictures of the other two. I have Grookey's final evolution and
this I want to see.
It's, let's see, this is Grookey's, the gorilla one. He's called what's it called? Bamboo.
Okay, that's very good, especially compared to that lame ass bunny one.
Rillaboom.
Don't come at my bunny crazy.
Tyler, look, it's a gorilla.
That bunny was not cool.
This is Grookey's final. Definitely looks a little better. And this is the slippery guys, the water ones. He just looks like a spy from Team Fortress 2, but like tall and sleek.
My boy, the bunny, is better than that.
And then we got the furry bunny.
He's not great. He looks like kind of like a lame Mewtwo.
That's what they did for the Polygon preview too. They're like, no, we're just gonna give you this crappy screenshot.
Really?
I honestly, I don't mind his evolution. I don't mind the final of the fire. I like the Sonic. I like the Sonic pants.
He looks like he's from Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, he does.
Telling you.
Give him a Keyblade.
Exactly.
All right, Tyler, you find anything on this yet?
Yeah. So it does actually seem that Overwatch 1 is going to get all the characters and maps that Overwatch 2 is getting. So, and you are going to be able to play online multiplayer with each other.
They're just gonna look slightly different. It's gonna have like the
guess.
higher resolution tracer in one game, and
you get the de-resed one in the other one.
Yeah, Jeff Kaplan said sequels make us nervous. So what we're hoping to do is redefine what a sequel means.
What? No, oh my god, that just means like, okay, we're gonna do this and call it a sequel. That's what it means to us.
Yeah, it's going to be a shared multiplayer environment where no one gets left behind. We also want to make sure that all Overwatch cosmetics come forward with you into Overwatch 2. All your progress matters. Nothing is getting left behind.
So it's just
weird.
An update to Overwatch 1.
Yeah.
And, I mean, this article says the same thing. So if Overwatch is getting all of Overwatch's 2 competitive multiplayer content, what's so special about the sequel?
Nothing. The updates.
It says that, yeah, like it has the PvE missions, I guess. Did you guys watch the cinematic trailer with Winston and May and stuff?
No, not for that one.
Like the designs.
I was interested in your thoughts. Did you see it, Tyler?
What was this?
The cinematic trailer with it heavily features Winston, who's the wise gorilla.
Oh no, I haven't seen the cinematic for it.
Anyway, I'm like, I don't know. It was a little too Disneyfied for me. It felt like feel like I'm outgrowing this lovable shooting characters. I don't know. It's just like
didn't feel like there was kind of enough like impact behind it. It was more so like, oh, I'm watching a Pixar movie with some shooty guns.
Yeah. And I mean, nothing against Pixar. They're good children's movies and even good adult movies. But I don't know.
I just wish the story was in one more, like because all the cool cinematic trailers and everything, kind of like Team Fortress. It was just you have all these trailers and all this lore behind it, but you have to go somewhere else aside from the game to get it, which you should go and get it at the game.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
I think that's what they're doing. That's what it sounds like they were doing with Overwatch 2 is like it's going to be full of a lot more of the narrative.
That's
and
cool.
Cinematic and cooperative type things to work with.
I wish they put that in the first one.
I just find it cheesy. I don't know. That's just my takeaway. It's why I don't like a bunch of the animes that you guys like because they're too cheesy for me.
I'm a
you don't want to watch an anime about volleyball.
Yeah, IQ.
Damn, he took the time to throw shots.
Yeah, Hunter x Hunter's great. Hunter x Hunter's really good.
It is really good.
I mean, I like some anime. You guys know I do. But
it's true. Yeah. It's okay. That's what the beauty of being human is. We all have different opinions, and we can all have those opinions.
That's what the beauty of anime is. There's something for everybody.
There is something for everybody.
True.
My son's watching Demon Slayer right now.
Yes, I'm stoked for that movie.
I know.
That's gonna be sick.
Moving on. So this week we saw the embargo end for Death Stranding, Hideo Kojima's new game that's been in development for 4 or 5 years now. We've seen 37 trailers at a total length of 4 hours and 34 minutes, approximately thereabouts. It's sitting at an 85 on Metacritic. That seems very good, but it's been all over the place in terms of reactions. So I took the time to kind of show the contrasting most positive, least positive, somewhere in the middle. So this one is from an outlet called Gamersky. Death Stranding is a game about connection, and it connects not only every character of the game, but also every gamer together. It's a masterpiece with great philosophy, thoughts, and combines great storytelling with innovative gameplay. We got another one from Push Square. Following years of mysterious anticipation, Death Stranding delivers on all fronts. An accomplished, fascinating set of gameplay mechanics allow you to make deliveries the way you want to, while social features let the game live on once you put the controller down. It may become slightly tiresome as you hit the halfway mark, but the phenomenal narrative is on hand to pick things up again, and its outstanding visuals are the cherry on top. Death Stranding doesn't raise the bar for any particular genre, it creates an entirely new one. All right, so some very positive words out there. A lot of people hailing it as one of the best games of the generation. It's beautiful. And then on the other side of the spectrum, we got
Good old IGN.
good old IGN, and they gave it a 6.8. There is a fascinating, fleshed-out world of supernatural science fiction to enjoy across its sprawling and spectacular map. Okay, very positive so far. So it's a real shame that it's all been saddled on a gameplay backbone that struggles to adequately support its weight over the full course of the journey. In fact, that little snippet isn't as negative as what the most of the review is.
Is it like a shot at the actual gameplay? Because the trailers and stuff we've seen where he has like carrying that 100 pounds of stuff or whatever on his back. It's just like...
So that's pretty much the game, Anthony. That's what it is.
Yeah?
You're walking from point A to point B, holding L2 and R2 to balance. And there's all these other systems that I guess that they introduce, but it's a lot of walking from point A to point B.
Huh.
Building highways.
Yeah. And
Oh,
so
interesting.
we also, here's another quote. The lowest review on Metacritic. I haven't heard of the outlet. Stevior? I don't know. Maybe just a dude with a blog. But he's on Metacritic, which is better than us.
Oh, he's really going at it.
Death Stranding is an irredeemable piece of garbage that should serve as a warning to publishers who give developers carte blanche to create art. Okay, I got a similar reaction from Dan Reichert over at Giant Bomb. He said that he has not played a game that he actively hated so much in his entire life, and he loves Metal Gear Solid. They're one of his favorite series. He's kind of a ding-dong, but I love him. But whatever. Anyway,
Wow.
So what are we thinking? You excited to pick this up on Friday? This is day one. Wait for sale. Never touch.
I'll watch
Day
you
one.
guys play it.
Day one.
Day one, I'll pick it up. Honestly, I don't care what anybody says on
game
reviews.
share
I pick it up and decide on my own.
Yeah, I mean, I am fascinated by... I've been watching lots of video reviews. I got to give a shout out to Kotaku's hour-long video review. They were only allowed to use 20 minutes of footage, so it's like really funny. They show him like Norman Reedus taking one of his toenails off like 17 times during the review. But the video is amazing. I feel bad that I can't remember the author's name right now, but he does a fantastic job. It's super entertaining, very insightful.
Speaking of Kotaku, didn't you say there was something we kind of like jumped the gun on last week
Yes.
too? Just to reiterate.
Yeah, so there was breaking news as we were recording last week. It was on the thumbnail. It was about journalists being fired from Kotaku. Turns out that wasn't the full story, that things are sort of kind of being worked out internally as I was reporting it or relaying it last week. I might have given some misinformation, so I do apologize for that. If you want to look up the current situation, I'd recommend following the Twitter of Jason Schreier, as well as reading up on just the Twitter sphere in general. But I don't think that the situation has been resolved, but it does not look like they were fired immediately, as it sort of appeared like for a little bit. So thanks for letting me reminding me of that, Anthony.
You're welcome.
So yeah, that's the Death Stranding news. We'll all be actually playing it ourselves this weekend. It's crazy to say that. I remember when it was announced back in 2016.
Craziness.
Craziness.
Time flies.
That's the year that we got, I think that was announced, Shenmue 3 and Final Fantasy 7 Remake, and they're all almost here.
I can't wait for part one of a game that I'm going to get blue balled with. Oh, it's great. Oh, God.
All right. And so this was a bit of a slow news week. Polygon, which is a website that we get a lot of stories from, they do a pretty good job with that. They put out a feature. We're coming to a close with the decade that we're currently in. 2020 is right around the corner. So they did a top 100 games of the decade article. And I had a couple beers last night and I was flipping through it. I got a little angry.
Yeah. Some of these are weird, though, for like the...
So I put out the ones that I'm not going to go through the whole list. You can find it yourself. It's fun reading, even if it's ridiculous at times. But, you know, it's tough making a top 100.
Yeah. That's rough. I don't blame them, but some of them are just like, what is it? 86 was Kim Kardashian Hollywood.
Yes.
Is that one of those like shovelware Wii games? I thought the Wii was out of print.
I think this was a phone game. This was a phone game that I guess somebody said was good and sat and argued that it was better than Control, which was number 87.
Wow.
And better than Cuphead.
And what the fuck? Better than Cuphead. And Slay the Spire was 98. I didn't put that on the page, but I just remember.
Wow.
So, some controversial choices there. They put Flappy Bird on it, which, sure.
Flappy Bird was a sensation.
It was a cultural touchstone. I can understand Flappy Bird at least charting. Last of Us at 59. That's like, that was like when Pitchfork put Dark Side of the Moon at number 73 on the top 100 albums of the 70s. What the fuck are you doing? Trying to be all cool and making these.
But don't you know it's cool to hate things that are good?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I guess.
What, the Death Stranding's on the list that hasn't even come out yet.
Exactly.
This is like PlayStation All-Stars all over again.
Yeah, so Death Stranding charting ahead of Last of Us, which who knows? I haven't played it. Maybe that'll be the case for me, but it's crazy that it's on the list already. But whatever. 50 Skyrim.
Beat Skyrim. Oh my god.
Come on, Skyrim, it belongs higher up on the list. I think everybody knows that.
Oh yeah.
Right after Skyrim, you got the total success of a game, Sea of Thieves, which it's got its fan base.
It totally does, but it's not. No, it doesn't belong there.
Yeah, it's like, it's going to get people to talk about this and click on it and bitch about it.
Yeah.
Let's put Sea of Thieves right ahead of Skyrim.
Real clickbait.
And then right after that, you got No Man's Sky, which, sure, it's turned itself around. It's a good game now. They've updated it like crazy, all for free. Props to Hello Games. But is it better than Skyrim? I don't know. Moving ahead, we saw Red Dead Redemption Collection at 35.
They couldn't put 2?
It's not a thing.
Yeah, that's not a thing. And they're two very different games from very different times. One was 2011, one was 2018. Totally different characters, different mechanics. You have 100 spots. You couldn't knock off number one. I don't know. That's disrespectful. That's disrespectful, Polygon.
That's like putting Donkey Kong Country 2. Same list.
Yeah, totally.
But I love both of those.
Bloodborne 31. Sure. I mean, I put it higher. And then Florence, which was a very good phone game at 29. A game about a blossoming and then deteriorating relationship that's touching and poignant, but can beat it in 45 minutes and is not better than Bloodborne and Skyrim. I'm sorry. But, they all are San Francisco hipsters over there trying to make all these clickbaity articles for people to click on, and I can't blame them. And then Everything. Did you guys hear of Everything?
Yeah, it's got that lecture that plays in the background over and over, and I knew that only because a song I listened to that same month had sampled it, or I found that same month it sampled that same lecture and the interlude parts of it. And I was like, what the hell is this? But it looked interesting to sit down and play.
Yeah, I think it's a game that people thought of as a very neat concept. At the time, I don't remember anybody really raving about it or putting it on any top 10 lists, so I was very surprised to see it as the number 15 game of the decade.
Yeah, that's...
and,
interesting concept.
Whatever.
But...
they're entitled to their opinion, and I'm not giving them too much shit because there's a lot of solid stuff on there, and it's hard to come up with a list that everybody can agree on, but, you look at Game Informer's top 300 games of all time, much more sensible, in my opinion, my humble opinion. And then they put Super Mario 3D World at number 14, and I don't even think Mario Odyssey and Mario Galaxy 2 are on the list. Two far superior Mario games.
What are you high? That's bullshit. Super Mario Odyssey is a great game. 3D World's good, not as good as Mario Odyssey.
And in my opinion. They did put Breath of the Wild, I think, at number 2, and Minecraft at number 1.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Well, people do love their Minecraft.
No, I mean, I can understand it. I can
it's
understand
like Lego blocks at any time.
Was Roblox on the list?
Oh.
I don't think so. Fortnite was number 10.
Wow.
No Roblox.
Dang.
Wow.
No Roblox.
I wonder if there were any Call of Duties on there. I'm not sure.
RuneScape?
I don't know. I can't believe that they put too much thought into this.
No, definitely not.
They probably just put an intern on it. They're like, all right, just write.
Maybe.
I mean, it's all subjective. I mean, there's so many other, cool, interesting games that If I had to make a top 100 list, it'd be very different.
Yeah. I think we all of our lists would be probably.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I don't even. I guess I have played over 100 games this decade, but I definitely have. I've actually beaten over 100 games in the past 4 years.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. I'm lucky if I can do that. I can beat one game every 4 years.
While he's playing his games like mayonnaise, or whatever that game's called.
What?
I am man.
Oh,
I
my name is
mayo.
Mayo. My name is Mayo. That was back when I was a bit of a trophy whore.
That's a game.
There's a game called My Name is Mayo where you literally just like mash the X button.
It's like one of those Flash games.
No, it's on PS4. It's like it costs 99 cents and you can get a platinum trophy in like 10 minutes.
That's
Wow.
Hey,
And
can't blame you.
so I did that once, but most of my plats they're real.
Are legit.
They're mostly what else is
I'm
it
gonna
easy?
start. I'm gonna
There's a
start
couple
investigating.
Telltale ones, which you just have to beat the game. But I think My Name is Mayo is the only like straight garbage one that I can think of.
I'm gonna do some investigating into these plats.
Feel free.
I'm gonna spread some butter. I mean mayonnaise.
I am toast. That's not on the
Yeah.
list.
Yeah, what the heck? Or Octodad?
We should come up with our own top 10,
The
and
Stanley Parable.
then somebody from Polygon feel free to complain about it.
Beep, 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 beep.
We're gonna add them on Twitter.
Yeah.
He's probably a camper.
So guys, I know it was a little bit of a small show overall, but
Pretty normal.
pretty normal. Okay.
Oh, hitting that mark.
Yeah,
104.
We gotta get shirts that say that.
I think that we are going to go get some Wendy's.
Yeah, yes.
Yes.
I am excited. You know what is messed up? You can't use a coupon. I tried this 2 days ago at Burger King. You can't use one of those coupons like they have like that, and you can't add cheese or bacon to a Whopper if you're trying to use a coupon.
That is wrong.
That's messed up.
That is wrong.
That's part of the disclaimer on it.
Yeah, you know what? The
No
print.
cheese, no bacon.
I just looked where it says when does this expire. That's the only part I look on that, and I'm like, I don't care about anything
Whopper
else.
without cheese is highly inferior.
It's a Whopper.
Yeah,
It's a Whopper, but like
It's a
when
Whomper.
they do cheese, they give you 2 pieces of cheese.
that good stuff.
Yeah,
just
it makes
a
a big.
Whopper.
I had a Whopper with cheese a couple weeks ago, and I was
It's-
like, "This is pretty darn good."
Not much beats it. But does it make your hands? For me, it makes my hands smell weird. Like whenever I eat Burger King, I just get that like Burger King like
The charbroil smell.
yeah, like that
Oh,
smell.
yeah.
It's just like it's
It just makes me want to
Yeah.
go get more Whoppers.
It's just, I'm just like because now like I'll be an hour later, I'll be like playing with my beard or something. I'm like, I'm like, what is?
Ooh, I think I need another Whopper.
I gotta go back.
It's not as good as Wendy's, but
Popeye's chicken.
chicken sandwich.
I wonder how Popeyes is doing now.
It's
They've
most
died
likely
down.
still packed.
I wouldn't be
I'm
surprised.
sure they're still packed.
There was literally a line going into the street, 5 cars deep, like pulling off of an exit. It was crazy.
Past the old Hukilao's demolished area. I'm surprised they weren't in there.
Yeah.
Any other time, that place is dead.
Yeah.
But the fucking chicken sandwich came back on Sunday because they did it smart. They were like, Chick-fil-A's
Oh.
closed. Let's drop it Sunday. What a
Jesus.
fucking marketing campaign.
All right. Thanks for tuning in to the Level With You show. If you made it all to the end, good job. You'll find us next Wednesday. We'll be back here with episode 28. Check out our other content on the channel. Like, subscribe, share with your friends. We'd really appreciate it. Leave us a review. That's really the thing that we're really looking for. This is a nice review. We'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
Bye. 104.